I just click the button that says go live and it says live streaming is not available right now. But I also see myself. I have no idea if this works. Well, we'll figure out soon, I suppose. I just did my 1.5-mile jog. This is my third jog of 1.5 miles with no back pain after spinal injury. I'm happy. Let's go. Killing it. Okay, what are we here to discuss today? We are here to discuss a bounty program. We are here to discuss the FULU bounty program, where if you come up with a way to make these devices work the way they did before, and you can show us that it works, and you follow the rules in the how it works page, you will get all the money for that particular device. Xbox is killing it, actually. Look at the Xbox bounty. Look at the Xbox bounty. That had $10,282 donated. That's crazy. Nobody gives a shit about the molecule. That's fine. And this, they don't care about. I'm surprised the ads did not do as well. I was expecting the Samsung refrigerator to be on top of the Xbox, but I guess it shows what I know about culture. I have no culture. Have you seen the bill in Michigan trying to ban VPNs? Yeah, I haven't covered it just because I don't know why I haven't cared. You should start recording in 4K 60. YouTube compression for 1080p is a lot worse. Well, here's one of the things that I noticed. So when I was younger, I couldn't afford to get myself a better camera. And now that I'm older, I can afford a better camera. But when I use the better camera, it shows that I'm old. So at work, I actually went back to using my NEX EA50 instead of that 4K one that I got because I'm looking at it and said, wait a second. That's what I look like? Bruh. Oh, that's horrible. I look like shit. Wow. What are all those fucking wrinkles and weird things in my forehead and my skin? I mean, a lot of the stuff in my forehead actually wasn't aging. Aging is kind of the cumulative effects of the decisions you make a lot when you're younger, more so than actually being old. So there were 2 times that I went out and got sunburn, and I know that I fucked myself because I could tell as soon as I got back I looked different. But yeah, so the thing is, I appreciate the comment, Daka, but if I use 4K, if I use a better camera, then you can kind of, you could tell that I'm ugly. Not that you can't tell I'm ugly as it is. I could use a 480p picture as a Tinder profile picture and I'll still look like shit. I took a cold shower and I have the AC set to 71 and I'm still sweating. What the hell? I finished jogging like 20 minutes ago. Okay. What do we have in chat? This is a kitty, by the way. This is Blackberry. She's standing in front of Clippy because she's jealous of Clippy getting attention. Somebody from the meetup on Friday gave me that. I forgot his name. I feel like a dick for forgetting his name, but thank you for the person who gave me that. The one sitting across from me with the glasses. Cool guy. Nobody can tell Blackberry and Clinton apart. Lewis is probably still looking for that GD doorbell. GD? No acronyms. The lady at the end of that Denver video had me dying. Yeah, that got me. Yeah, that I was kind of tired at that point. I had a pack. Every time I pack at the end of one of those events, 100% of the time, somebody bum rushes me. Like, oh, look, Lewis is by himself and trying to focus on something. Let me try to sell him something. Which happens every time. I knew I was going to have to go through that. I didn't want to forget any of my things in Denver. And she kind of took away a bunch of my energy. I was kind of tired at the end. It went from a 5 to a 2, just trying to figure out what she was saying. Trying to decode what people are saying actually takes more of my energy than jogging with a spinal injury. That was painful. Smart Stat disconnect to LAN needs to be added. What is that? Yeah, at some point I just said, like, here, have a hug. Would you like a hug? And she didn't want a hug. And at that point, I'm fucked. I have no idea what to do. Usually that works. People get so surprised at the hug that they usually just, like, at that point, the conversation moves past the thing that they're trying to confuse me with. The FULU website is figured out. Yeah, the bounty website is done. My next project is going to be that city council tracker thing, which is being worked on right now. I just got Jake. I don't know if that's the same Jake as the Jake in the chat, or if you're a different Jake. You can suck my dick, Alex. You can gargle my ass. No, don't you fucking... No. The cat stays. The discussion of the cat stays. You go. GTFO. We have very few rules in this channel. Fuck you. I have had no sponsors in this channel for 13 fucking years. You will watch my cat, or you can eat my ass. You don't... No Audible, no Raycons, no established titles, no Raid Shadow Legends, no fucking... No ads for anything baked into my videos. But you will watch the cat, or you can suck my dick. GTFO. That's a fucking rule right there. Rule number 1, no acronyms. Rule number 2, no bitching about the cat. Why do you have your tongue out for, huh? You have water. You want to bring you a water here? What'd you have your tongue out for? What are you sticking your tongue at me for? The fish are doing well, E.T. Thank you for asking. I may actually move this stream outside at some point if I feel like sitting outside. I do like that recliner. It's more comfortable than the Aeron chair. The Aeron chair is probably more healthy, but the old-ass recliner outside is homey feeling. Oh my god, you have a lot of fur. Here, one sec, I have to get the thingy for Blackberry's fur. Be right back. There's a tool for this. You have a lot of fur, Barry. I do not... No, Shadow Broker. No. That's ideological possession, and that's bullshit. There are other ideologies that have existed over the years that have hurt your ability to own things. Blackberry, you are not going over to the mic. No, get back here. Do not stand in front of the camera. No. Bad kitty. She's trying to push my monitor off the desk. Bad kitty. Does the tracker have an architecture put together, or are they still trying to figure out the collection of the data? That is a question for Jake. Yes. So Jake works on everything for my non-profits and also my private businesses. He is the best developer I've ever worked with, and because he's the best developer I've ever worked with, he has to work on the priority projects first. The city council thing is a side quest. I don't have an organization for that. It's literally just a hobby. So he had to finish the work on a few other things first, which he has, and he's going to be looking at that. So I'll be bugging him about that. My main thing was to give him, here's what I wanted to accomplish. Here's what I set up so far. Here's who's working on it. But yeah, just because ideology is cutting us, that's not what I said, mofo. This one does it the least so far. You already have proof that the other ones have completely destroyed it. At least within our current economic system, there was a point in time where you had ownership and it worked. Either way, this stream is supposed to be about the bounty project, not like debating communism. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Give us a house tour. Nah. My house is a clusterfuck. You get to see the only corner of my house that doesn't look like shit. Arguably doesn't look like shit. Blackberry, if you want attention, come here. Do you only look at local laws, or do you look at international, like laws in EU and consumer protection, digital ID? Sometimes I look internationally, but I've made so little progress in my own country that I've been really trying to focus on my own country. I focused on chat control in the EU just because that was completely psychotic. But otherwise, I really just mostly focus on my own country, simply because I don't feel like I've earned the right to even discuss shit in other countries based on how little success I've had in my own country. Bounty question. Logically speaking, I have possibly a solution for the frigidity to make sure I'm not going to get screwed, as I am a convicted felon already. Well, if you're a convicted felon already, this may not be... maybe this is something to add to the how it works section. If you are a convicted felon, this may not be a great idea. What happened to FUTO? I'm out of the loop. I don't know. What happened to FUTO? I don't know. I don't think anything happened to FUTO. Reacti is the new Clippy. What? No, it's a different organization. These are different organizations. FULU is not FUTO. It's like wine is not an emulator. Did you leave FUTO? Yes, March of this year, yes. March of this year. Yeah, I hired a bunch of engineers while I worked there, got a lot of people to know who they were, and I have not had a job since... you have to keep in mind that the last time that I had a paycheck paying job was 2008. It was March of 2008. So, like, jobs are not really it for me. Like, I feel like I did as much as I'm going to be able to do there in terms of getting the ball rolling and getting things moving, and now I go move on with my life. What is a FUTO? It is a software organization. How can you live without a job? Hey, there's always things you could do. You don't got to work for somebody else. We need to have the American Revolution too and have Lewis be the president. Fuck that. I don't want that job. Everybody in this country hates each other and can't agree on anything. No, thank you. There's like 3 things people in this country can universally agree on. I focus on the things that everybody can agree on. I don't want to go to the dealer to have everything fixed. I don't want to pay millions of dollars out of pocket to be spied on all the time. I don't want to go to prison because I've taken the ads off my refrigerator. What's your opinion on KLAC versus Linux? You've broken rule number 1, which is no acronyms. Should I keep using the FUTO mobile keyboard app? That is up to you. That is a personal preference. I use it. The keyboard itself is not as good as the Google one, but the voice to text is infinitely better than the Google one. So I use voice to text. I don't do this into my phone. This is a waste of time. The only time I'm doing this is if I'm talking to somebody and I'm sending somebody a message saying, I can't believe I'm listening to this fucking idiot. Like, the only time I type into my phone is usually if I'm bad-mouthing the person right in front of me. I much prefer voice to text. FUTO is not an acronym. It's just 4 letters that sound good together, devil's advocate. Can you do something about privacy in India? Bro, I have not done anything. I haven't really done much about privacy in the US yet. I don't know if I can help people in other countries. What are the rules of providing the possible, perhaps missing, a step, OT2, that someone could easily figure out on their own? That sentence doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. Have we all put together that Rev Up America is owned by Chrysler Stellantis? It's just dark money. It's dark money from automakers. I wanted to go over it in a little bit more detail. AutoCare sent me some good stuff, but it's not as detailed as I wanted. And the repairs that people are not able to make, like some of these things, there are certain vehicles where replacing the 12-volt battery winds up requiring a tool from the manufacturer, which is just fucking crazy. Again, we're not talking about a 400-volt, 2,000-pound lithium-ion battery. We're talking about a 12-volt lead acid. Just psychotic shit. I have to dig back into that because I do have that in my list. What liability would fall back on someone who provided the instructions on how to fix it themselves but is missing, say, one step? I'm not entertaining all that stuff. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not entertaining all the margin shit. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not trying to dig into all that crap. Like, I can't answer all that shit. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not interested in trying to, give legal advice on something that's never been done or never been prosecuted. Like, I don't know what to do with that. I'm not trying to do the wise ass stuff. If somebody releases the solution, great. I'm just being honest with you that they prosecute that with 3 to 5 years in federal prison. And if you don't release the solution, you still get the bounty. If you do release the solution, you also get the bounty. I am primarily looking to avoid a situation where like little Timmy is impoverished, and he sees Lewis says, "Oh, you get money if you unlock the restrictions in this device so that it works again." And then little Timmy goes to federal prison. Little Timmy gets pounded in the ass. Little Timmy's mother does a sob piece for the New York Times where it talks about this evil YouTuber that is essentially no better than people starting bum fights for $5. Like, I'm looking to avoid that. Does that make sense? I am not telling you that you have to release it. I am not telling you that you don't have to release it. I'm saying that if you show that it works, you do you. But I'm not trying to get little Timmy pound me in the ass prison and then have like the headline be like famous YouTuber sends person to prison to make point for video or some shit. Like, we're not doing that. Now, this will disappoint people. I get it. Some people only want the bounty to be released if they release the full solution, and I understand that. Such is life. I'm trying to get a law changed, so because I'm trying to get a law changed, I am trying to work within bounds that I think make sense to get my point across, while also avoiding stepping on rakes. That was a question that I had when I was talking to the team at Framework. I applied for a job there, some director of marketing thing. I didn't get that. And then I applied for some basic customer service thing, like 50 or 60K a year level position. And I didn't get that. But I remember one of my questions was, how do you avoid stepping on rakes? Like what? And I actually gave some examples of rakes. And I remember going on the forum and picking out some examples. And the funny thing is, all the examples I picked were actually posts made by the person interviewing me. That was awkward. Who is funding FULU? At this point, a very rich person. After the very rich person, most likely other people I can find that hate the DMCA in Section 1201. Let's see. Why does anyone even need a phone? No, we're just being stupid. Because I can't put a laptop in my pocket. I can't put a laptop in my pocket, I guess. No, we're just being stupid. Don't ask. The thing is, like, if you want to make a point, just make the point. Just don't ask questions you know the answer to. Now, if you want to make the point of, hey, I think based on how you live your life, a phone may actually be detrimental to your productivity and entertainment, and here's why, like, make the point. But don't ask stupid questions. They're just annoying. Neighbor been stomping for years, mentally tires. I don't know what that means. I appreciate the $1.99. Huge thank you from Durham, North Carolina. Thanks to your tip on monitoring city council agencies, I trailed them trying to slip a contract in at Peregrine Technologies for $500,000 on 24 hours notice. Nice. Yeah, that website can't be done soon enough. I look forward to seeing Jake whip that project into shape this week. The U.S. problem is bad or good laws are never followed without lawsuits and people suffering for years. People have to go to court for this to change. Yeah, there's 3 different ways to try and get this done. There's a legislative route, the judicial route, and the influential route. So, there's legislative, which is getting legislative change. There's judicial, which is going to the courts. And then there's just getting everybody to know what this is, to understand it, and get it to the point where it's unprosecutable. Like, there's a law on the books in Massachusetts that makes sodomy illegal. Best of luck prosecuting that if somebody films a porn video in Massachusetts, right? So there's 3 ways. So I want to try and get each of them I want to try to work on all of them. Because if you put all your eggs in one basket and you fail, you have absolutely nothing to show for it. So at least with the approach that I'm taking now, people can understand that it's a shitty law. People can feel invested as the solutions are not released in the storyline. You have the Consumer Rights Wiki, where even if I don't get the law repealed or replaced or reformed, I have a database with tens of thousands of articles going over this that could be used to inform consumers. There has to be multiple paths to victory. With the right to repair stuff, let's say that I did not do any of the work that I did fixing motherboards. And let's say when Apple when Apple called me in 2016, when Patrick and Townsend called in July 2016, I just stopped doing repair videos. I got right to repair laws passed, but they kind of suck. I mean, they don't really at least in my industry, nobody in my industry, in my opinion, and I'm blaming myself for this, not anybody else, is materially better off as a result of any of those laws. You still can't get schematics because the law says make available to independent technicians and the owners, but you make available to the authorized service center. And the authorized service center doesn't get the schematic either, because the authorized service center doesn't do anything, which is why independents are the ones that people go to begin with. Like, right? But at the very least, I can say thousands of people, tens of thousands of people learned how to do component level repair and were inspired to by this process. So I have the separate win. Because if my only claim was, look, like I helped get a law passed with money that I raised, but the law doesn't do anything, I just jump out I just jump off my balcony. So yeah, you're right that it does take several years, and there are different paths to going through things. The link for the Cake Ray and the FULU How It Works page is broken. FML. Thank you. We're going to bother somebody with that right now. Right. Okay. To talk about a roundabout way to no tell you but have finger it what? Bruh, I can't. That makes as much sense as the lady at the end of the other stream. I can't read that. Please make it easier for me. Any rules for forcing companies that don't provide timely security updates on phones, laptops, or TVs? I don't have any rules for companies, really. I don't make rules for companies. Little Timmy learned why not to drop the soap because of this bounty. The trolls will do that anyway. Very true, but I'm not going to give them extra ammunition for it. The way that I work is if I don't feel ashamed of what I've done and I know that I'm correct, then I let everything that people say bounce off of me. But if I feel like I have done something that is not fully correct, then it doesn't bounce off of me. So, what do you think about patents? Very fake. I'm not a fan of most patents. I refer to the anti-Zaxcom video. What is your opinion on Nintendo suing people for fun? Not the biggest fan. How is Trump in your opinion? Not the best politician. The thing that I think differs me from others that don't like him is I understand 100% why people vote for him. Like, I understand the mindset. I don't disrespect the mindset. I get how when people constantly are telling you you're a piece of shit, how you're going to vote for the person that doesn't tell you you're a piece of shit. I understand it. It's just I look at a lot of the shit he does and a lot of the shit his administration does, and I just like, what the fuck is this? Like, just what the actual fuck is all of this? Yeah. Would have preferred better candidates this time around in this election. But you get what you get. Mackenzie Ryan is a perfect co-host. She is smart but speaks thoughtfully and pronounced without tendency to nerd out. She does a good job of this, yes. What's the best way to push the FULU Bounty program? Are you reaching out to student organizations at universities or people do programming degrees? The best way to push it? I don't know. The best way so far, I have used the YouTube channel and some nonprofit partnerships that I used during my time working with other organizations like PERG with Right to Repair. I have not reached out to student organizations yet at universities where people do programming degrees. But I'm not opposed to it. I think it would be fun. If distributing the solution has legal consequences of prison time, how is the verification process of the solution handled without sharing? Yes. Reminds me about evidence-based medicine, where we have one fact-checker side that has all the power to abuse, which wasn't the original idea. Given Flock's cameras map out the vehicle details, couldn't they be used by bad actors to target certain people, or even government agents? I don't see an upside for the public or government employees. I'm finding that the stronger argument is not the privacy concerns for people. The stronger argument is demonstrating the security vulnerabilities and then having the people that have done that responsibly disclose this to their local politician by way of surveilling them. It's sad that this is the only way that people have actually started to listen. Any plans to extend the bounty program outside the U.S.? No. I'm trying to get a law changed in my own country, so no. It is a U.S. org funded by a U.S. donor trying to get rid of a shitty U.S. law. So is it less risk for an EU citizen to release solutions? It could be, but if I am paying them with the intention of them releasing it, then I am technically breaking that law myself, and then I get the 3 to 5 years in federal prison. And I think about it, but not really. Why not make a torrent and throw it online? 3 to 5 years in federal prison. That's why. I don't know what's going on with flock cameras, and I've been busy with the police academy. Can you explain to me like a 5-year-old? They are AI surveillance cameras that are being put up all over the country. So with CCTV cameras, the first C stands for closed. With these, a bunch of different agencies can see thousands of cameras all at once. And when they can see all those thousands of cameras all at once, they have a nice little ChatGPT-like interface where they can type shit in to try and figure out where you've went. It's a camera that doesn't just look at license plates. It can fingerprint the vehicle based on a number of different items, like bumper stickers, all sorts of shit. So the argument here is, do you want to be watched everywhere that you go all the time? And do you want, there is this idea that you don't have a right to privacy on public roads, but there's also laws against stalking. If somebody follows me everywhere that I go, I can file a restraining order. Whereas with this, somebody could easily figure out everywhere that you go all the time, and you have no way to opt out of it, which I think is lame. What's the best way to push the FULU bounty program? Oh, I think I answered that one already. I don't know. I'll figure out once it's successful. 1 or 2 years from now, I will tell you which of the things I did work best. But ahead of time, I don't know. Talking about it, I suppose. Politicians this time, yeah, let's see. We should put up wanted posters. For what? We live in an Onion article, Lewis. That is not false. Isn't it a bad argument that keeping physical schematics secret is to protect their products from being copied, since any serious competitor would have a team of engineers to do that with bought unit? Well, a good argument against this is the fact that Apple schematics wind up getting leaked. If you want Apple schematics, go to Venafix. I mean, there's some law that they're breaking, in what country they're hosted in or how they're doing it, I don't know. But there's so many different websites where you could find Apple schematics. And those Apple schematics have not resulted in other competitors making a laptop with a trackpad that's worth a shit. Like, how many PC makers make laptops with trackpads that don't suck? I mean, Apple has had a schematic for a long time. Why don't you just make a device that has the battery life of a MacBook? Why does everybody not have the battery life of a MacBook? I'm not even talking about the ARM shit. Pre-M1, most PC manufacturers had something with garbage battery life in contrast to a MacBook. The schematic is there. There's a lot more to the design than just the schematic, than just the board view. What you need to be able to do a repair is very different from what you need to be able to actually do manufacturing. So I would say it's a bad argument to say that everything we make is just going to be copied simply because the schematic is available. Now, small independent repair shops with 1 or 5 people are not going to do this. But if you're a company with 15,000 employees and you're worth billions of dollars, you could pay somebody to sit there and literally just measure every component. And you may ask, why don't we do that and make our own schematics? We're expected to do repairs in 1 or 2 business days for $50 to $200. Like, I cannot sit there and make a fucking map of something when the profit margin is as low as it is for a small business. Like, it's not really that viable. But what you can do is if you're Toshiba, like Toshiba or Acer or Lenovo can afford to do that. But there's more to it than that if you want to actually make a great product. Unrelated to FULU, Denver mayor also signed a contract with Flock for police to have Flock fly drones over the city. Signed without anyone knowing until months after it was signed. Sounds like you have a lovely mayor. Yeah. D-Flock is missing several cameras in my area. And most are owned by Walmart, Home Depot's HOAs, but they face public streets. How is that legal? Hey, I have cameras in front of my house that face public streets. Like, the camera that gets my driveway also gets the street. That's been legal for a long time. But my camera is a CCTV camera, closed circuit. I am the only one that has access to it. It records to an encrypted drive in my home, and nobody else has access to it. And if you want access to it, you have to knock on a door and then ask me for it, which is different than a camera that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can log into. Your focus is mainly on Americans, right? I get that your understanding and control of other regions is limited, but your impact and reach is global, so why isn't that your scope? That is not my scope because I don't have money for every fucking country in the world, bro. I'm one dude with one organization. Like, I can't start an organization in every fucking country. I can't raise millions of dollars in every fucking country. I barely have my own shit on lock in America as it is. I barely have my own company together. I barely have my own nonprofit together. I worked for 5 years to change the law in my fucking country, and every single right to repair law that I've gotten passed has had some sort of ridiculous, giant-ass, gaping loophole in it, larger than... I was this close to saying something that was inappropriate. But you get the point. Like, just, why don't you start one? I don't know. What do you want from me? How many... You want me to start a fucking org in every country in the world? Let me just shit out a gold bricks and hire like 50 people in every fucking country. I'm one dude. I'm one dude with 2 cats. What do you want from me? What the fuck? Oh man, what do you want? Take it that repair costs get pushed up with U.S. tariffs. Repair costs were pushed up way before U.S. tariffs simply by the lack of availability of parts in general. I used to be able to buy donor boards for $15, and Apple got really, really good at making sure those donor boards never left. So those donor boards I used to buy for $9 or $20 that had chips on them are stuff that I can't get. So let's say it had a bad CPU or it had a crack somewhere in the PCB. This shit would just get thrown in recycling. And instead of it getting recycled in the ground down to dust, which is totally fucking wasteful, people would take those boards and then, get them out the factory and sell them to people like me because I could use the rest of the chips in that board just fine. That stuff kind of started to go away. Screens started to go away. We used to be able to buy screens for like $38 to $72, and now they're like $300 to $500 in their knockoffs versus the originals for $38 to $72. So a lot of the supply chain reckoning happened before Trump's tariffs. Don't get me wrong, Trump's tariffs in many ways are horribly stupid. I bought something on eBay the other day, and I didn't realize it was from Canada, and I also forgot that Canada had the fucking tariff. So I wound up paying like an extra $600 to import a camera. It's like, yeah, I'm going to buy an American camera now. Sure. Let me buy an American camcorder. Yeah. You did a great job. Great job encouraging me there. Great job encouraging me to buy American. Do you have a wiki for a buy list and how to make a closed circuit camera system? I don't have a buy list, but if you want to see how to make my camera system, I do have this. Oh, fuck you. I have this. Here, I'll take a look at this. What the fuck? Look, it has a table of contents. See? BlackBerry, stop that. Control your anxiety. She's doing the meow meow. She's doing the raw wow. Where's the camera section? Here we go. And it also tells you which version to install, because Frigate was really good, and then they destroyed the user interface with the new version. So I show you how to use the old version before they destroyed it. But it's BlackBerry, control your anxiety. She gets really anxious when I'm not around. But she walks away from me, and then she gets anxious, and it's like, BlackBerry, come here. BlackBerry. That was an awesome Nutshell. Nutshell is a great song by Alice in Chains. Track 2 on Jar of Flies. The entire Jar of Flies is a great album. Rotten Apple and Nutshell are particularly amazing. Track 1 and 2. You have 2.45 million subscribers. That is mostly bots. Tom McGee gives a thumbs down. Oh, you can suck my dick. People are upset with Behringer copies because they do it cheap. No one complains about warm audio. Huh? Do you believe that in 20 to 30 years, cars without massively unnecessarily included computer technology will be the only option? No, I think people don't mind. The thing is, people don't mind having computers in their car for a lot of things. What they mind are subscriptions for everything. What they mind are ads in their car. Like everybody says they hate the lane assist thing, right? Like I hate when my car is mad at me. It's never right, but in reality, it actually is right most of the time. It's a pride thing. Most people don't want to admit that the car is actually good at telling them how to drive. Yes, when you're like fucking, when people are texting or yelling at their husband or their wife and not paying attention to the road and the car like blists them back in their lane, that is a good thing. Everybody hates it because it's an ego thing, but there are things where having a computer in the car is actually useful. Where the little beep beep beep, which tells you when you're about to rear end somebody, that is useful. So even when it's not useful, the 5% of the time that it's correct is going to be very worth it to you. What people hate in their car when it comes to computers is your seats are a subscription. What people hate in their cars is when it shows you a map and says, if you want to know how to get where you're going, give me $10 a month. What people hate are Ford having fucking patents on how to advertise to me in my car. Like that shit's got to go. So I don't accept the premise that I want to take computers out of devices. I like computers being in devices and I like progress. I do not want them to win. So the bad guys win if they get us to hate technology because of their misuses of technology. I like technology, but I want to be the one that owns it, and I'm not going to accept the dichotomy that I either have to drive something made in 1972, or I have to have 1995, or I have to have a company own me all the time. I don't like that. I don't want that to be the argument. My question regarding bounty. How do you pay out bounty if it is to be claimed by an independent group with a small number of people? Haven't really done that. Haven't put that thought through yet. I imagine in that case, if you have it would probably be split amongst the people, or if you have a company, it would be paid out to a company. Or it would be paid out to the dictator, and I trust the dictator, like the benevolent dictator for life of the group, to pay it out to the people. That hasn't happened yet. But it is something to go over. Yeah, I would probably pay the leader of the group. You guys would have to figure out who the leader of your group is, and you would have to trust your leader. And if your leader fucks you over, then, then that's a personal problem. Because I think a lot of these people are likely not going to be forming S-corps for this. That is something to think about. Is iFixit also pushing right to repair laws? Yes. Kyle's the type of person that would that would protest on the lawn of the Capitol. He's that dude. He's had a company for a long time, and it's a pretty successful company. But he's also the type of person that would stand on the lawn of the Capitol doing a hunger strike or something. I mean that in a positive way. Not an organization per country, just videos covering exposing privacy exploits that are intricately in the U.S. I do that right now. I just don't do everything in other countries. I do limited in other countries. I did go over some of the chat control stuff. I remember my favorite, the best comment I got on YouTube of all time was when the lady was talking about sniffing encrypted communications in the EU. Remember that one? That was funny. And I'm like, who voted for you? And somebody's like, oh, Lewis, do we at the EU have something to tell you? Let me find that one. That was fucking funny. EU commissioner thinks you could sniff encrypted communications like a dog at the airport. How did she get elected? Lewis, do we have some news for you? That was good. I threw my keyboard and was screaming, who voted for you? How'd you get elected? So drivers should be able to replace their car operating system with open source software. Well, when you say car operating system, are you talking about like the actual motor controller and the PID loop, or are you just talking about the infotainment system? Are you purring? You are purring. That's very loud. Wow. Much purring. I want to submit a problem that came with the GoPro 10. I feel like you can make a video on this also. I bought the camera so I could see the live view while recording, and they took that away. Well, if it's an ownership issue, you can make an article on consumerrights.wiki. Texas bad speed cameras. Do you think there's any chance they ban AI surveillance systems? How do you feel about Ubiquiti Unify as a home security system? I've never tried Ubiquiti Unify. In terms of the AI surveillance stuff, I think you're referring to Senator Bob Hall. Senator Bob Hall championed a bill back in 2017 through 2019 that was eventually passed in the House that banned red light cameras in the state of Texas. And if you are a voter in his district and you think that it would be also good to put together some regulation regarding AI surveillance cameras on public roads, then what you should do is you should email the office of Senator Bob Hall and tell him what you think. Do keep in mind that senators and congressional representatives and local state representatives are representatives. They're there to represent their constituents. So if you do not live in his district, he has he's not supposed to care about you. BlackBerry, don't stand in front of the live chat. BlackBerry, don't stand in front of the live chat. BlackBerry, don't fight it. Come on, come over here. BlackBerry, don't stand in front of the live chat. The kitty goes over here. But yeah, you're thinking of Senator Bob Hall. I suppose Lewis is ignoring YouTube chat. No, I'm not ignoring it. It's just a kitty walked in front of the screen. Wouldn't the donating to specific bounties discourage the cracking of specific devices which not many people own? No. Chat control is amazingly stupid. And don't forget they want to combine it with digital ID. I haven't looked into the digital ID thing yet. Hello, Ryan. Mr. Ryan. Unrelated, but thanks for upgrading me to Linux. This is a million times better in every aspect. Its design is perfect for me. Good riddance, Microsoft. That's awesome. I'm glad some people that came by got Microsoft off of their computer. Makes me very happy. Hello, Kitty. Is there any overlap between this idea and gamers' rights when purchasing them and being in a functional state after support ends? I think there's a lot of overlap. There's differences in the reasoning because a lot of these devices that get bricked, it's not even like minor difference in some of the reasoning behind it. Like, for instance, they say that the difference is with the games, there are certain servers that may run certain software, and there may be certain licenses, and where if that don't have the rights to continue to run this particular software on this particular server anymore, which is why the game gets shut down. I don't like it. I would never fucking buy these games to begin with, to be clear, but I understand it. Whereas here, Samsung putting advertisements on your fridge, like that's no. It's not like they're contractually required to put ads in your fridge. That's just them to. That's just I want more money. We are going to force ourselves to have more money. Has Kitty knocked over Clippy yet? No, and I'm very surprised. Don't jinx it. Pet the cat. The cat went away. If the cat wants pets, the cat would go over here. Maybe I'll do this. You should try Ubiquiti Unify. Lets you disable all cloud on setup. You can enable one of the various populous VPN providers for remote access. I have a system that works. Clinton did not pass away. He's away over here somewhere. He is 16 years old, so he's getting up there. I don't expect him to last forever. He inspired me to go to a local public hall. Cool. To speak in opposition, where they were supposed to vote on building a 900,000 square foot data center. The table did 100 people left. I'm not even against the building of data centers. I'm against when they build data centers and they do it the fucked up way where they have these non-closed loop systems, so it just sucks up all the water, and they use the water from the surrounding lakes for water cooling, but it all evaporates. Like that's the stuff that pisses me off. I'm not even against data centers. I'm against data center. Like, there's one that Musk put in Memphis, Tennessee, where he's using, I forget what it is, like methane generators or something. So when you're walking by it, it just smells like garbage, and it's obviously horrible to be around for your health. That's the stuff that pisses me off. I'm not against data centers. I'm against like the build as fast as possible, as cheaply as possible, and fuck up the entire world around you data centers. There's going to be an environmental cost to any of the stuff that you do, but like how much of it and how little do you care about how much you're fucking everything around you? It's like anything. It's like even with the e-bikes in New York. I always tried to ride my e-bike so that people would not think these should be made illegal because of how annoying you all are. I always had that in the back of my head. I don't think they have that in the back of their head when they're building modern data centers. Is the rep from Dearborn, Michigan the one trying to ban VPNs? I don't know if that's the guy trying to ban VPNs. I'll spend time writing the issue. I tell everyone in my life about all the things you're bringing to the light. Yes, you're starting to win the culture war. We'll see. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it, but I'm going to keep trying. No point to deciding to wake up in the morning and live your life if you're not going to try. What about free-to-play live service games? Do they still owe people an offline version? If you make something that's free, in my opinion, you don't owe people shit because it's free. Like that would just be my personal opinion. I obviously feel like I'd like the ability. There was this one game back in the day. It was played with Macromedia Shockwave. Was you threw snowballs at the kids on the other side. It was some website where they had a bunch of games like this. And when that game went away, you didn't buy. It was free. I have no idea where to find that anymore. And it makes me cry, the idea that I can't play that game anymore. But at the same time, how do I, like, you didn't sell me something, right? Where is the dual stream he is reading comments from? I'm going to give you a guess, Shane. I'm going to give you 3 guesses. Which chat do you think I'm reading? You get 3 guesses. Let's see if you can figure it out. You have an ally from the Norfolk, Hampton Roads Virginia area here. Between Blueview and Flock, we need to get these cameras out of my home. I wish you luck. I work in a data center. I agree. Data centers are not an issue, but these massive AI ones are, and are giving other data centers a bad name. Yeah, it's the same thing with the computers in cars. The computers in cars is not a problem. Computers in cars that control you, that you don't fucking own, are a problem. Data centers are not a problem. Data centers that are built like bullshit with a bunch of fucking methane generators and a bunch of water cooling that's open loop, with the water evaporates and it sucks all the water out of the ground and the streams and the lakes. Like, fuck that, right? It's not data centers. It's doing a data center shittily. And the problem with doing data centers shittily is that you're going to get the general public to be against data centers altogether, because they're going to see data center, they're going to associate that with garbage air quality and garbage water, and then they're going to be against everything, even the people who are not doing it that way. And I hate that, but that's, like, stop doing that. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the fucking people like the Musks of the world. Musk can afford to do this properly. What are you worth, like $200 or $400 billion? Like, just do it properly. It's, even if you're not doing it properly, do it less improperly, right? Like, I get it. They want to go as fast as possible because they're trying to win an AI race, because whoever wins the AI race in their mind is the one who's going to be king of the world. It's just a bunch of people that want to be kings. I'm not even like, this isn't like, it's just be happy. Why can't you be happy where you are? Ubuntu versus Linux Mint. What's better for a first-time installer? Rule number 3, no distro wars. Number 1, no acronyms. Number 2, no complaining about the cat. Number 3, no distro wars. And even though that net worth is not necessarily real, because if you go to actually liquidate every company and every stock, the value goes down the same way that if a whale tries to offload all their stock or crypto at once, it goes down. Let's say he's worth 10% that. Let's say he's worth 48 billion, not 484 billion. Like, just build it right. It's enough money. Men to say unify in the context of recommending easy to set up systems for others. Huh. In November, Ring cameras are enabling this feature. When a neighbor reports a lost dog in the Ring app, those with outdoor Ring cameras start a search party. Using AI to look for possible matches, your outdoor cameras will notify you if they spot. That would have been useful for Oreo. However, Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment versus Oreo. If I had to be principled in the matter, what would I choose? Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment. Yeah. Oh, Fourth Amendment. It's a hard argument, though. Being principled there is tough. To be honest, I don't think companies ever think about negative side effects when building something or putting out their products. You have to some extent. Like, my personal trainer made a good point to this. I forget the exact stats he was giving, but like, with the top 1% have like 82% of the wealth. I forget the exact stat, but I forget the exact conversation. But I remember him saying, what if the top 1%, instead of having 80% of the wealth, had like 72% of it, right? Like, people are not very good at balance. They're not very good at, most people in general are not good at moderation. And what I've learned in life, in both my personal experience and from dealing with others, is that money simply makes you more of what you already are. It just makes you more of who you are. So like, I don't think anybody is that great at moderation, but I think it gets worse once you're in the 400 billion territory. I honestly, I don't have an answer for a JM. Yeah, I don't really have much of an answer for it. And the thing is, if you ask 500 people that question, you will get 500 answers, and they will all argue with each other. It's kind of like asking butter brickle versus, what did Eli the computer guy used to say? Butter brickle versus banana ice cream. Like, you're never, it's gonna get an answer to that. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, Edo. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Clippy no simpy. Clippy no simpy. Oh God. Oh God. Oh no. I don't know what to say to that. Oh. Why hasn't anyone made a Rig camera that's locally hosted? Storage is cheap, no cloud needed. Because if you made a Ring camera that was locally hosted, they would need to open a port on their router in order for it to be able to send notifications out. And then when I ask my my grandma to open a port on her router, that begins a very, very miserable conversation. And then I become her sysadmin. And the last thing that I ever want to do is become a sysadmin for an 89-year-old woman from San Benedetto del Paris in Italy, where they didn't have fucking running water in their toilets until 1996. That ain't no. There's a reason the cloud shit wins in a lot of ways. They take away your freedom, but they also give you back your time. I don't know if that makes sense. There's a video I did on this a long time ago, about open source software. Like the freedom, free as in free. There's many different freedoms. But one of the freedoms that nobody pays attention to with open source software is free as in free time. The freedom less mentioned by free software evangelists. I say this as somebody who uses free software all the time. But I also realized the amount of time that I have spent in my life. I could probably have gotten a college degree in the amount of time I've spent troubleshooting stupid Linux shit between the ages of 12 and now. Not that that would be a good way of using my time anyway, but. If a police officer tracked all your moves and followed you around everywhere you go just because you could have been a criminal, is that not a violation? Well, one of the important things in there, I think they say reasonable, right? And this is one of those terms that's also in the right to repair bills that makes it a meme to some extent, because reasonable is going to be thought of differently to many other people. Like, what is reasonable? You inspire me. I'm going to a town hall tomorrow about an Amazon data center that's trying to be put right in our backyard in Hilliard, Ohio, a couple football fields away from residential. And again, like, you don't have to be anti-data center. Say you're anti them doing it the fucked up way that they're doing it now. Although, to be clear, I don't know how Amazon's doing it now, so that's a bad example. But look up how Amazon's been doing it. What are the problems you have? It can't just be data center bad. It has to be, here's how this specific company has been dealing with data centers recently. Here are our specific concerns and how they've been operating. So you don't just seem like the person that wants to, like, don't let them paint you as Amish. Nothing against the Amish, but then it just makes it harder to win. Do you use KDE, not a distro? I use XFCE. On my laptop, I use KDE because when I use XFCE and I attach an external monitor, as long as I'm using LightDM or XFCE, it restarts my session. That laptop has an RTX 5080 and a really weird mux chip setup in it. So that I haven't been able to figure it out. So I don't know. I just deal with using SDDM and KDE. I don't like KDE. I like XFCE. It's my favorite. XFCE is the best. No distro wars, but definitely desktop environment wars. Desktop environment wars are allowed. But they're only allowed if you agree with me. XFCE is the best. I love the mousey. Oh, fuck GNOME. GNOME is a piece of fucking dog shit. GNOME sucks. GNOME is garbage. GNOME is dog shit. Like, I don't understand why anybody uses that thing. Except for the fact that it's given to you as it's forced on you as the default. GNOME sucks. Like, I can't even fucking click on, like, I don't even have a taskbar or something where I can see the different apps that I have open. You have to alt tab between everything. Or you have to swipe over. But what if I'm using a desktop but I don't have a trackpad to swipe over? No, thank you. Fuck GNOME. GNOME is annoying as fuck. Oh, and the developers, they seem completely tone deaf to anything that anybody actually wants. Fuck GNOME. I used GNOME back when GNOME 2 was a thing. What was the project that took GNOME 2 and tried to make it not suck? It's the word that people in the UK call each other with a funny accent. Mate. That's it. Mate. Yeah, mate is usable. Mate is usable. GNOME 2 is usable. GNOME 3? Fuck GNOME 3. Fuck GNOME 3. What do you think of NVIDIA and their cards going out of stock? That's going to continue to happen as long as people want AI shit. I got an RTX 5080 in my laptop. I found one on sale, and I got it because I love being able to use Olama and Mistral to classify and tag my emails. I get like 400 to 1,000 emails a day. I like the AI classifiers where I could put tags on it based on what type of email it is, so that I can look through them in a much more efficient manner, so I can actually read all of them. And I don't want to outsource that to ChatGPT or Claude or some other service. I want it to be private. I want it to be done on my server. So but my laptop sounds like a helicopter all day. Like, I have no need for a GPU, right? The latest video game that I've played is occasional Dota and Street Fighter 4. My RTX 2080 is way overkill. This GPU that I got 7 years ago is total overkill for me. The only reason I got that is for the AI crap. And there's probably a bunch of people like me that are buying those GPUs, even if they have absolutely no use for it, just from a GPU point of view, from a graphical point of view, or a gaming point of view. When do you release the Clippy distro? No Clippy, no more distros. Do you have any emulators? No comment. I can only answer that when I have my firearm by my side in case Nintendo tries to send somebody to my home. Fucking psycho company. What is reasonable for one is not necessarily the same for another. Very true. Why did I never cut the user information packet off of my chair? That's weird. You think the employment situation will improve? It seems like everyone I know has recently graduated has difficult getting work, myself included. In what field are you in? What field? I purchased the QNAP instead of the cloud for storage, just randomly rebooted, and now the RAID is being repaired. Should I be concerned? Yes. RAID is not a backup. Yes, be very concerned. Is this RAID 5 or RAID 6? Is this the type of RAID where one drive can die or where two drives can die? If it's the type of RAID where two drives can die, be concerned, but don't be totally scared. If it's the type of RAID where one drive can die, be very fucking afraid. And also, yeah, the random rebooting, a lot of those NASs don't really have the best power supplies, and they definitely don't have the best computing systems built into them. I don't trust them. I would have infinitely more trust in a 10-year-old desktop computer that was competently built than I would in any of those fucking tiny NAS, cheap Chinese NAS units. Have you run the particle counter near that scented wax candle? This is not, the particle counter stopped working. I have to send it someplace to get it calibrated. I got my money back on it. They didn't. So now that thing is essentially free. So I'm going to try and get it fixed and calibrated. How hard is it to actually set up local LLMs? It can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know how it is on Windows. I know on Linux, like you install Olama, you have to edit a couple of files if you want it to, work with the GPU and everything and be accessible by the programs you want. So like Thunder AI is what I use for Thunderbird, and there's a little blurb on what you have to add to your Olama, the systemd file, so that it'll work. And like it's not presented as front and center as I think it should be for somebody who's new, but it's doable. What I would say is you'll probably waste a day on it, just kind of messing around with shit. Opinion on Hyperland. What is that? I don't know what that is. Build your stuff. At least if it F's up, then you know for sure it's your fault. Are you using local LLM? I use local LLM for things that require privacy, and I use Claude or ChatGPT for things that require answers that are actually correct. Because they're just better. And everybody's going to say, no, the local's better. A lot of the people saying that the local can do everything that those ones can do it's cope. It's just like, no, it doesn't. I'm not going to lie to you all and say that they're as good. Maybe if you have $130,000 of GPUs and some 600-line Python script that you wrote yourself to emulate deep research, maybe then. But other than that, no, it's not going to provide you answers that are as good. Even I tried using the 24 billion Mistral model, just trying to get it to tell me some basic shit on how to properly use rsync. It was getting shit wrong left and right that ChatGPT and Claude instantly got. That Clippy Desk trophy is not available on the web store, unfortunately. The add-ins are finally available at a slightly lower price again, but I'm not going to be selling them into the future. The tariffs completely fucked up and destroyed that entire industry, which is lame. I don't, David Chang. I don't. Too much work to set up. I don't. I know. I suck. I'm not allowed to beat my chest. I have not earned the right. I've looked at some of the plugins people have made for, what's the word of it? Open Web UI, but none of it is, all that stuff is just made for programmers. If I want to sit down and make it work, it's not made for humans, it's made for programmers. I've seen some plugins made for OpenWebUI to try and make that simple, but Hyperlin is currently a hyped window manager. XFCE is fine for me. Is there anyone pushing right to repair in EU like you are in the USA? Yeah. I know there's repair.eu. I think that's the org in the EU. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, David Chang. It's one of those things where it's half done and it's kind of like it's totally doable. It's just if you're a programmer, it'll be great. But if you're a human, it's gonna suck. Is that still a good solution or is it outdated? Define that. I don't know what that is referring to. Love when you read articles in your videos. It is legendary. You talk really fast and then you rage. You're a good source of information while knowing I am safe. I don't know if you're safe. Blackberry, is he safe? Is he safe from you? Oh shit, she's getting up. Oh, you ain't safe from nothing. She's taking her time getting up because she has the bone disease in her back. But once she gets up, you'll see. It's like a panther. Panther that hasn't eaten in weeks, that's about to eat you. Are you saying programmers aren't human? Yes, programmers are not human. They are cats. No, don't block the screen again. No. Oh, don't nuzzle the screen. No. You're not going to knock my monitor off my desk again. Fuck that. No. The kitty goes over here. Kitty, you have one chance. Come here. Right now. Kitty. See? Kitties do listen. Did you switch to Pulse Audio? No. I have to reinstall this in this machine. I'm using a stupid distro on it. One of the very few distros that nobody should ever use. Speaking of ownership, you know modern spray bottles make them where you can't reuse a spray bottle. I've seen some of them where I try to open it and it's impossible and I wind up breaking it. I just thought that was me being an idiot, which is usually the first thing I default to. All billionaires are anti-consumer at this point. I don't know if all billionaires are anti-consumer. Not all. Computers should belong to people. Image is funded by a billionaire. FULU Voice is funded by a billionaire. GrayJ is funded by a billionaire. I like Image. I think Image is awesome. I think it's quality. If you pay for the software, it works. If you don't pay for the software, it works anyway. I think it's... I would say most billionaires. Not all. Aaron is not anti-consumer in my opinion. Kitty? I have not... I will admit that the ratio is pretty far off though. Did you catch Gamers Nexus in the AI bubble? Pretty good. I did not. How best to stick it to corpse? Make good entries in consumerrights.wiki. That's my biased ask of you. Hello, Sarah S. Let's groom the kitty. This kitty has a lot of fur. So you think of Rob Braxman's phones? I have not looked into any of that. I would still be inclined to say that your best bet, if you really care about all the schizo privacy security shit, is Graphene OS, as long as, this is a giant fucking disclaimer, you make sure that the proprietor and main programmer of the OS has no idea who you are. That is... You still have a personal trainer. I do. I mentioned him in one of my most recent community posts. When you're speaking of AI cameras, they put those in at the local park. That sucks. What do you think of Rob Braxman's phones? I don't think anything of them. I have not tried them. Have not looked into them. Yeah. I repeat what I said 90 seconds ago. So rewind the video 90 seconds and you'll hear my answer to that. How was your experience with your personal trainer in New York? He was awesome. He's a great guy. And then I stopped seeing him, and then I did worse, and now I see him again, and now I do better. Kitty, you're not gonna push them. You're not gonna get away with this. Blackberry, get back here. Blackberry. Look, I'm petting another kitty. Oh my God, this invisible kitty is so much cuter than Blackberry. Look at how cute the invisible kitty is. I love the invisible kitty. Good little invisible kitty. You're so much better than Blackberry. You're younger and cuter and hotter. Wow. I feel like the Andrew Tate of cats. That actually fucking worked. I just red-pilled my cat. Holy shit. I've never used that crap on women, but I just used it on my female cat. Holy shit. Nothing works. But that actually fucking worked. Nice. I red-pilled my... Now I pay attention to the kitty, and because I'm paying attention to the kitty and treating the kitty nice, the kitty walks away. I pretend to pay attention to another kitty, who is a good little invisible kitty. Yes, what's a good name for an invisible kitty that I'm cheating on my current kitty with? We're going to say... Ruby. Hello, Ruby. You're a good kitty. You're a good kitty. Let's see if this works again. Good kitty. What's a Blackberry? I don't even remember who Blackberry is. Man, it's not working anymore. It wore off. She figured out what I was doing. Come on. Get back. Do not step in front of the monitor. Do not... Okay, so much for that. What do you think about cell phones like iPhones recording all the time? Siri checking for certain words to be activated. Do you think they're recording all the time? I don't know if it's recording all the time, but that doesn't mean it's listening all the time, and that's fucking weird to me. Even old school Cephi and BIS. Oh, no. You're breaking rule number 1. No acronyms. No acronyms. No, none of that. What the fuck is all this shit? Cephi? Sophie? School for elephants fighting the injured. I don't know. Fuck acronyms, bro. What sources do you have in getting good infos on Linux? The internet. You're going to use the internet. You're going to learn to love the internet. Love your recent interview videos. Thank you. I actually have to Zelle. Thank you for reminding me. I actually have to Zelle that guy some money. I paid... Yeah, I had a camera guy for that, and he did a good job. And he actually thought that was an unpaid thing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not asking a fucking camera person to work for free. It's a skill. I am tossing the 100% of the live stream donations I got from that evening over to him. I have to do that now before I forget, though. Payroll is easy. Stuff like this where people don't send me a bill is hard. Okay. Pay. So. I'm allergic to cats. Can you crop Blackberry out of the frame? You've broken rule number 2, sir. Tread lightly. Tread with caution. Ten. Text checking. Thank you. Okay. No, oh, you tricked me into clicking the button. You fucker. It's the reverse dark pattern. Like, are you sure you want to send? Fuck you, Chase. Okay. Paid the cameraman. What kind of brush is that? It is a Hertzko. A Hertzko. Some cheap piece of shit. You have a good memory, MCD. But that was actually, yes, spending somebody money. If you have an OLED monitor, how do you tell the difference between the void cat and the screen? What is this voids thing? Why do people call BlackBerry a void? I don't understand it. She's an adorable little kitty. She's a lovely, cute, kind little kitty. She's not. She's void of nothing. I love my berry. Don't call my kitty a void. There's no void. She's not a void. A void is like a void in my heart, a void in my life. She's the opposite. She fills up my life with joy and happiness and care and nuzzles and pets and cute little meows. And she nuzzles me when I'm sick in bed. And she's a good little kitty. What happened to Oreo? He ran away. What do you think of the jet tracking dilemma with Elon Musk and Taylor Swift? How they complain about privacy. I haven't noticed the Taylor Swift one. I know that Elon Musk was banning somebody from Twitter, or like he offered him money to not post the location of his jet, even though the location was from publicly available logs that he was forced to create. Don't call BlackBerry a void. She's the opposite of a void. She's fulfillment. With your video of the local hearings for the AI camera in Austin, it seems like your city really needs a cybersecurity team or a planning committee. They already are spending too much. No, I don't know. My city spends too much money on shit as it is. They don't need another committee for this. Just don't fucking waste money on cameras that stalk me everywhere that I go. Like you don't need, because then a committee means paying, and paying means more prop queues, and just no. You don't need more shit. Just don't. Here, how about, I'll be your planning committee. Don't pay to fucking spy on me all the time. We're done. There. That was free. I'll let the live chat be the planning committee. I will tell my mayor not to spy on me all the time for free. Is there a country outside the USA where people can release firmware, world access, and be immune? I answered that in the beginning. But just to go over that again, yes, but then because I facilitated it, then I'm in trouble. And no. Also, it defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do, which is change the law in the United States of America. Where is Clementine? Clementine is a puppy that belongs to Maria. Maria paid for the Clementine, and she continues to hold this over me as the reason that she gets to play with the Clementine and have the Clementine in her house. Just because I didn't pay for the puppy, and I don't take care of the puppy, and I don't get the puppy vaccinated, and I don't bathe the puppy, does not mean that I shouldn't get to play with the puppy all the time. But apparently that's not how it works. Ownership. Yeah. Lewis, don't you care about ownership? Fine. But there's no owning a Clementine. What are your thoughts on becoming a politician? I don't think that I would be a good politician, and I would not want to become a politician. What about DRM and the big trucker protest during COVID? What about it? As long as you get to play with the kitty, I wouldn't worry too much about the puppy. Yeah, but I like the puppy though. The puppy is cute. KDE Plasma does not make everything as easy as Windows. Try making a Zebra label printer work with ShipStation. Like there's a lot of specific applications where you're not going to be able to use Linux right, regardless of the desktop environment that you use. XFCE is fine. KDE is just added bloat. BlackBerry appears to think if she stares your bicep, that she can telepathically command you to pet her. Let's see if it works. We're going to pet the kitty. She's gotten lots of pets. She's gotten lots of scratches and lots of grooming. That's the kitty. Did it occur to you that these companies engaged in licensing without true contract violates many UCC provisions? You broke rule number 1, no acronyms. UCC. Unlimited cutting champion? Weight loss? I don't know. The ones who don't want it are often the best for the job. I don't know about that. Hello, Ali, and the little kitty in your profile picture. Acronyms suck because they could mean a bunch of different things, so there's no specificity, unfortunately. It really does detour a lot of crime. You mean deter. It takes a real special blend of desperation and disregard for consequences to commit a crime knowing you're likely to get caught. A lot of people do that already. So at what cost? You want to be watched everywhere you go all the time and have a central place where people could tell exactly where you went and exactly what you did. No, thank you. No, thank you. If we live in a world where every single time I go outside, I get shot at, maybe we'll talk about the loss of freedom altogether. But we are not even close to there. No, thank you. What do you think I should do if Flock is already set up in my city and was approved by City Council? Show up to your next City Council hearing and a general comment section and get as many people as you can to also show up and speak your mind. Look it up. Amazon sucks would be my advice. Oh. Let's see how my little bounty site is doing. What you showing my bookmarks bar for, huh? How is this bounty site doing? Venstars are great but ugly. True, and they have resistive touchscreens. We have a suggest a bounty link too. What's FULU? I don't know. Never heard of that before. Are these cameras similar to red light cameras? Because a lot of counties remove them so they could remove the flock cameras. They removed the red light cameras so that they could remove the flock cameras too? You know, Senator Bob Hall in Texas got red light cameras banned in the state. So if you live in his district, I'm just saying, a couple of pokes here and there. Maybe you can open source the web app and developers can fork your repo and contribute to the app so it'll develop as a community project. Are you talking about the Council Watch web app or the bounties thing? The bounties thing is done. I don't need anything else on that. The idea to start the bounty program arose at 1 in the morning while I was editing the Future Home video and I was aggravated. And I thought of, I was pissed off at the Future Home CEO. Like, let's see if we can encourage. Like, let's stop just talking about it and start hitting back. Future Home is the company that went bankrupt, and after going bankrupt, sent out a firmware update that changed the terms of how their products work. That's ransomware, man. Like, you can't do that. Are you planning to go over digital ID? I don't know. I don't know why my brain just hasn't wrapped around the idea yet. I feel like I'm not the best person to go over that. My brain has to wrap around something in order for me to do a good job of it. If it doesn't, it just won't come out right. Flock sounds dangerous. Yes, it is. We are building the Chinese-style authoritarian surveillance system in our own country. And people are running towards it. And that's fucking bad. I'm sick and tired of opening Senate hearings on C-SPAN and shit and hearing them say, our biggest rivalry are the authoritarian Chinese Communist Party, who does many of the things that we are doing right now. No, thank you. Do you think Android is screwed now because of Google's BS terms about new developer requirements? Well, let's take a look at the pattern. It started with, we have a headphone jack, and Apple took away the headphone jack. No, actually, no. It started with, we have a micro SD card, and Apple doesn't. No, never mind. Then it was, we have a headphone jack, and Apple doesn't. Never mind. Then it was, you can unlock the bootloader on your device, and you can't do that in Apple. Never mind. Do you feel like you're getting cooked yet? Now it's, well, they're a developer. You can install applications from anywhere, and there's no developer requirements regarding this, and like, never mind. This is room temperature. This is boiling. You are here. Nobody needs to be tracked every second of their lives. It's especially scary that we're doing it with kids. I agree. I'm still pissed at Hisense. I got a portable AC that I can't fully clean because there's no schematics around. Can't disassemble without breaking shit. You know, even when I have schematics, I still break shit when I first open it. A lot of people think I'm a good repairman, and I'm really not a good repair person. A good repair person can open something for the first time without documentation and not break it. I break everything, even when I have documentation. The way I learn is different. So, like, even a good repairman is usually like a 90 or a 95%, right? I'm a 0%, but I will spend my time like breaking everything in that device. And then once I know everything you're not supposed to do, then I become like 100%. And then I'm better than the good repair person. But in the beginning, I suck. I'm actually a pretty fucking horrible repair person. What is the threshold of nonsense before FULU offers a bounty on a fix? I would say a 7.8 out of 10. Probably a 7.8 out of 10 on the Richter scale. Post-market OS worked better. I wish it worked better. Both devices I've tried have different issues. No audio on one, no touchscreen in the other. Huh. I don't know about that much. Breaking things is how you learn. True. Learning is expensive. Very true. Yeah, the only way that I became good when I was doing the MacBook repair stuff is I would stay up until 4 a.m. and I'd fuck with shit over and over again, and I'd break everything, and I'd test all my theories, and I was stupider than everybody else learning this. It's just, how long are you willing to be stupid at something is going to determine like how well you become at it, how good you get at it, how much time are you willing to put in, how motivated are you. The motivation is a big one. It's really hard to give people to give people the motivation to become really good at something. It was hard for me to get the motivation at it too. It took me years to figure it out. It took me years to figure out how to get the motivation to just be willing to sit there and fail over and over again and not want to cry. I can't tell you what clicked it in my head. It has to be, you have to be able to visualize in your head the future where things are going well for you and other people as a result of torturing yourself in the here and now. And if you can't do that, it's really hard to put yourself through something where you're trying to learn something that you suck at. I lost track of how many eMacs I broke back in the day. Worst Mac ever. I would put that up there with the A1237 and A1304 MacBook Air. About trackballs, do they get dirty or are they easy to maintain? Do you find them more comfortable? Well, the reason I use a trackball is because I used to, you have a very, very small desk. I'd have like the fume extractor tube here. I'd have my keyboard. I'd have my hot air station, soldering iron, a bunch of my little tools and screwdrivers and picks and chips. So I didn't have the space on my desk to do this with a schematic on a 4K screen. So having a trackball allowed me to very easily navigate what I was looking at, because my desk was very, very small back in that store. I crammed 12 employees into a space that was 670 square feet. Now I don't need it anymore. It's just I'm used to it. And once you're used to it, I keep using it. Cleaning it is as simple as having some, I use Uvex. It's a lens cleaner from Honeywell and a microfiber cloth. Uvex, UVEX. It's pretty good. You've been following the ATSE 3.0 DRM debacle. It's very anger making. I wanted to have somebody on for a live stream and I've completely fucked up. It was the antenna guy or something. I'm sorry. I fucked up with that one. A squirrel. I have to email him back. He emailed me months ago and I never got back to him. I feel like such a piece of shit for that. My inbox tortures me sometimes. I'm going to get some... I want to make time for that. It's just, I noticed since making the transition to talking about the flock stuff, my channel completely died. So I feel like if I do make the transition of talking about the ATSC stuff, it will get 2,000 views and nobody will watch it. I still want to do it. I just feel bad that because of the transitioning and the timing between topics, anytime I switch topics because I get interested in something else, the channel dies, which is okay. I'm okay with that. Fuck flock. It needs to be gone over. Well, what's your favorite ramen? I don't need any of them. I don't like it. It's a bunch of shit. Too much salt. If in part the flock cameras work, at least they're not using infrared, it seems like one could make a license plate holder frame with those high-powered infrared LED bulbs. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to, because it doesn't solve the problem that you're paying for your own surveillance. Now you're going to pay to modify your car after paying for the fucking camera. I once asked a Chinese girl about surveillance in their country, to which she replied that people have a pact with their government ensuring safety and trust, which is why they trust government surveillance. Yeah, that's the gun to the back of the head thing. That's that virtual gun to the back of the head kind of answer. Ask her to blink if she's afraid of people coming into her house late at night. Think it would be worth having issue-based channels? No, no, not at all. I am not a social media person, so I don't know how to build a channel from scratch to have a large viewership. So even if I did make another issue-based channel, that issue-based channel would likely have nobody watching it. And so it would essentially be the same thing as having this channel. I'd have all the downsides without, I think, the upsides. Also, the issues that I go over are constantly changing. Like, this politician sucks. Look at flock cameras. Take a look at this empty New York real estate. Here's my fish. Here's my kitty. Here's something stupid that the mayor in this city did. What is the thread that ties all this together, right? I would have 7 different channels. It would get too confusing. He's tired already. Yes, I yawned. I only ran 1.5 miles and that was enough to tire me. We need you walking around New York showing empty buildings. That was fun for us for a short period of time. I wanted to make the point that that entire city is a Ponzi scheme. I made my point. I don't think I'd be interested in making it again. But it was fun for the time being. I don't know what makes sense with social media. I do a video about something I care about. It gets 10,000 views. I do a video because I'm hallucinating paper clips about a Clippy, and it gets 4 million. It makes no sense. The world makes no sense. A lot of people said, why did you choose that to start a movement with? And it's like, I didn't think that video would get more than 4,000 views. I don't know why the paperclip video got 4 million fucking views. I don't know. The world doesn't make sense. You're pretty busy. How do you manage all these projects? Not always as well as I should. A big part of it is not having a life. So not having a life gives me a lot of time to manage 3 nonprofits and 2 businesses. But a lot of it is also I don't manage it as well as I did prior to burning out. After burning out, I haven't managed things as well. Old man, yeah, devil's advocate. I'm getting back into it. I had a spinal injury and I wasn't able to run or even do speed walking without special shoes and without pain. And now that once I could walk without pain, then I tried running, and then I had pain, and then I went back to basics, and now I'm able to run and jog without pain. So now I just have to go back from not having. Best cures to deal with burnout while running a business is don't let yourself burn out. Don't get to it, because I don't think there's a cure to it. Burnout is kind of like the long COVID of being an entrepreneur. I hate that word because usually entrepreneur just means unemployed, and I don't want to sound like a bum in my LinkedIn profile. So I've tried to avoid using that word. I just didn't have a synonym right now. No, it exploded before Mudahar and others, Zelda. It had over 1.5 million or 2 million before any of them even went over it. Thank you, Mohammed. You should, but thank Kelvin and Kuhn, the programmers, and Aaron for paying them. I didn't have much to do with Grey J. Thank Kelvin and Kuhn for programming it, and thank Aaron for paying them to make it, when nobody else is going to pay for that shit. The Antenna Man and Lou Seedman have done a good job keeping pressure on the ATSC3 issue. I want to make time for that. I do have to make time for that. Didn't you say you would change your name if the Subway Great got as many views as it eventually got? Yes, and then I moved the goalpost, and then I deflected, and I never did it. And yeah, maybe I would make a good politician after all. I also thought if that video got that many views that it would be that there'd be a anyway. What's your take on the Raven team making the Altered? And then it gets the boot, but they get to keep the money. I would love to figure out what the grift with it actually is. I would kill to be a fly in the wall for some of those conversations that I know that I'm not in the room for right now. I use Spectrum Internet. I supposedly have 45 megabit per second up, and I've set my stream to 7 megabit up, but this is Spectrum, so I'm going to lower it to 4 megabit up because Spectrum is shit. Oh, okay. You would make a great politician. Maybe. You could probably get elected in Texas. If I ran for governor, if I were to run as a Democrat for governor in Texas, I would probably say, like, I'm not going to touch any of the gun shit. You can keep your guns. All I'm going to do is when we have that $20 to $30 billion surplus every year that gets talked about, I'm going to use it to make sure that all of you have electricity in the summer and the winter. I think that would be my... But I don't think I want to become a politician. That would be a horrible job. The audio interface for the mic needs its buffer size increased. Oh no, this is Pipewire. There's no fixing that. Don't even try to fix that. Pipewire never works. I could edit config files until I'm blue in the face until 4 in the morning and do everything everybody in the documentation tells me. I just gave up on that shit. If I'm streaming straight from my camera, it'll work. If I'm streaming from Linux, then I just give up. You gotta have an APAC handler. No, thank you. They can go register as foreign lobbyists. Thank you very much. Fuck that. How the fuck is it that I have to register as a lobbyist when I hire a lobbyist in Minnesota, but APAC does not? How the fuck is it that APAC doesn't have... How the fuck do I have to register as a lobbyist to say you should be able to fix what you bought and paid for, and APAC does not, while getting Israel $3 billion a year? That kills me. Mic breaking up. Yeah, that's probably the time to end the stream. Isn't government still in the shutdown? Yes, it is. Jiggle your mic cable, Lewis. Ah! Let's see. What do you guys hear? Let me play this. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. This is getting pipe wired. I think this is getting pipe wired. Let's see if we're getting pipe wired. Pipe wire? Pipe wire? Pipe wire. Pipe wire. Pipe wire. Pipe wire. Pipe wire. Pipe. Pipe me. Pipe me, pipe wire. Pipe me harder. Pipe me harder, pipe wire. Pipe me harder with your open source software. Okay, we're good. It's working. I let Pipewire peg me. Audio is too low. Well, if you turn up the volume, you'll notice that it gets louder. Yes. Turn up the volume and you'll be good. OBS is open source software, which means I do not have a compressor plugin. Or I can't. Oh, no, I shouldn't say. No, I can't. I don't have a real compressor plugin. They give you one of those open source compressors where you can't see gain reduction. That fucks me up every time I see it. Like Kden Live is the same thing. OBS and Kden Live both have a compressor audio plugin. You cannot see gain reduction. Like the fucking LA2A. The LA2A came out when? 1968? 1965? 1962! Holy shit. Compressors had fucking gain reduction in 1962. Year 1962. The LA2A. Wow. The LA2A is considered one of the most legendary vocal compressors. Literally in fucking 1962, before they even had transistors, they had fucking gain reduction displays on the compressor. And open source software doesn't have that shit in 2025. I wish I would use Kden Live. I would use this stuff for video editing. It's just, you're behind things that came out in 1962. I don't know what to do with that. I would put a compressor on my audio, but I have no idea to see what the fuck it's doing. We seem to have a user in the chat. A user? FULU seems to be doing well. Well done, Lewis. I really wish that I had gotten some sort... it's the mic cable. It's fine, bro. There's nothing wrong with it. I already listened to my audio. What I've learned between you and traditionalists is that you're all trolling the shit out of me. And I appreciate it, but no more trolling. But what was I saying? Yeah, the thing that sucks with the government shutdown, I've never cared before, except I'm actually trying to get DMCA reform pushed through, and I cannot do that if there's no government. So the thing that sucks about the government shutdown is it doesn't mean that that law doesn't apply. It's not like the purge, you know. It would be cool if the government shutdown was like the purge, no laws apply. Great, don't have to care about Section 12.1 of the DMCA for the next 2 months. Section 12.1 of the DMCA still exists. The sound is fine, bro. Stop, Yanti. You have to turn up the volume on your... If you don't turn up the volume, the sound will not go up. I can't help you there. If you turn up the volume, your sound will be better. The mic cable is fine. Just go away. Go away. Anyway. I already listened to my audio. You guys, you're trolling me. You tricked me once, but you're not going to trick me again. All right, so what was I saying? Yeah, the thing with the government shutdown is it's not like the purge where there's no laws that apply. The Section 12.1 of the DMCA still can get you sent to federal prison, but I can't try to reform it while the government is shut down. So we did a decent push to try and get something, to get a Senate sponsor, and also tried to get one person who I'm not going to name just yet to release something. We're going to be making another push soon to have this, at the very least, even if it doesn't get done, to be on somebody's agenda. Yeah, don't get me to replace my mic cable, bro. It's fine. Also, there's another feature on YouTube that you have to turn off. It's called stable volume. So I don't know when they added this, but it can fuck with things. So when you hit the little settings thingy, you're going to see something. There's playback speed, quality, but sometimes there's also something called stable volume, and that can fuck things up. Some devices have volume caps. In that case, you are going to have to break the digital lock in your device to fix that. I can't help you with that one. Are you using Linux? Yes, I am. Yeah, no worries, Ian. No worries. Stable volume option is grayed out. Oh, shizzle. I was hoping to write an article about this, but it does not seem to make it to the Consumer Rights Wiki criteria due to it being about AI cameras. Topic: AI camera mistakes chips for gun. Yeah, that is a bit off the scope of the wiki. I probably should start another wiki for that, but that org, there is no camera org yet. I would, yeah, at some point, a deflock wiki would be nice to have. That has all the arguments, goes over what the different mayors did in different cities, all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking of that. What do you think of the new rounded YouTube UI? I haven't noticed any changes in YouTube's UI. Well, that's about that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking part in the bounty program. Thank you for taking part in the bounty program. I look forward to seeing how this goes. I look forward to finding somebody to get the ads off of the Samsung refrigerators. Somebody who can make the Nest Learning thermostat work again. Somebody who can figure out the Xbox parts pairing on the drives. And if you can, you will get a pot of money. Look at that. This bounty is up to $30,285. Crazy. We'll see where this goes. I will try to put my money where my mouth is. I'll try to put my organization's money where its mouth is. And we're going to try and figure stuff out. I don't know if I'm going to succeed at getting rid of Section 1201 of the DMCA or reforming it. I don't know if I'll succeed at getting all the AI-powered surveillance cameras out of all these places all along the country. But I do know that doing something is better than doing nothing. And I hope you'll join me for the ride. Bounties.fulu.org is the edition list. That's bounties.fulu.org. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Clippies together, strong. That's my Clippy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. No, interesting. No, we do not split the fridge, the TV, and the PC ads to be blocked at the router. No, we get them out of the fucking fridge! No. Stop trying to solve the wrong problem. I have a video about that yesterday. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing.